let's talk about Joe. I got a question for you. We started this off,
Okay.
it seems like every time, with a Mount Rushmore. What
Yeah.
is your Mount Rushmore of women's wrestlers?
All right. Well, let me go ahead and get started here, where I'm gonna kind of go from the bottom up because there's so many great wrestlers that came and went. But I'm keeping mine kind of old school. I was kind of surprised by that, but I do have an honorable mention though before I start.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Shout out to EO Sky. Y'all know how much I love EO. She is the captain, the manager, the boss of the Sky. She lays it all on the line, sells it, and is such a good company wrestler and a workhorse. Okay. We love EO Sky. All right. So for my top four, for my Mount Rushmore, we have China. China is the epitome of women's wrestling. I don't care what you say. She held the men's title for a certain amount of time. She she definitely was like somebody that I really look forward to seeing every Raw. You know what I'm saying? She was
Underappreciated
amazing.
legend.
Yep, definitely. Secondly, we have Jacqueline Moore. Okay. The she did more for women's wrestling than I think a lot of people give her credit for. But just amazing wrestler, super
Sweetheart,
strong,
sweetheart of a person too.
sweetheart of a person, and beautiful, and just all the above. All right.
Joe knows why I'm laughing at that.
All right. Thirdly, this one might surprise you, but I have Stephanie McMahon.
No, I respect it. Respect
All
it.
right. Stephanie McMahon is the workhorse of the entire wrestling industry. I mean, I would, of course, her alongside Triple H, breathing life into wrestling and just giving it everything that it is today. I believe that we can go directly to Stephanie McMahon, point the finger at her and say, you did this, but in a good way. All right. And then lastly, we have Trish Stratus. All
Love me
right.
some Trishy.
I love me some Trishy, man. She is a legend in her own way. Trish, you know, great wrestler, great moves, such a workhorse, such a wrestling phenom. I don't care if she was a heel or a baby face. I was always pulling for Trish, and
You had to
that
work hard to get there too.
absolutely, absolutely. So just that in a nutshell is my Mount Rushmore for women wrestlers.
Hey, I dig it. I
Yeah.
dig it. So we're gonna have a few commonalities. If I had to give a shout out, and I'm gonna get some hate online, that's okay. I think Nia Jax deserves her roses. Is she gonna be one of the greatest of all time? No, but she's gonna be one of the greatest big women of all time.
Yeah.
She's that good.
Yeah.
Um, she's good character work. Is she the best in the ring? No, but she works that big woman style very, very well. You don't see that very often anymore.
Yeah.
Um, Piper Niven's great, but she doesn't do it like Nia does it. So my Mount Rushmore, I'm going to start from the bottom up as well. I'm going Awesome Kong. Talking about big
Mm,
women,
yeah.
Awesome Kong was special. Everything we say China was, Awesome Kong, in my opinion, was that and then some. She didn't have the same charisma as China and didn't have the same breakout as China, but like she had kind of, I call it the Goldberg aura. She didn't have to talk. She didn't have to do
No.
anything fancy. She just come out there, smashed your face, and went in. Her and Gail Ken have some of the best women's matches I've ever seen in my life.
Right?
And I mean, it's just you cannot have. If we want to talk, I love big beefy boys slapping man meat, and I love big beefy women that can hold their own in the ring.
Yeah.
And Awesome Kong could do that. And every now and then, and she eliminated Michael Cole from the Royal Rumble in '08. So
Hmm.
she's got a special, oh, I mean, 2012. So she's got a special place in my heart just for that. Um, and we love Michael Cole here, by the way. We just got to say. Um, I guess my number three spot is probably going to go to Lita.
Hmm.
Lita brought something special from the Attitude Era. Her with the S.A. Rios was awesome. Her in ECW was awesome. Her with the Hardy Boys kind of helped her break out and show she wasn't just a pretty face. Local girl from here in North Carolina, trained in Mexico, where it was so much harder to train to be a pro wrestler. She
Yeah,
went there and trained and was
they take
amazing.
it seriously, man.
Her and
That's
her and Trish were the first female duo to main event Raw. That didn't happen back then. And like you were saying, Joe, yeah, they take it so serious there. It's an art
mhm.
form. In Mexico, it's like real life comic books come to life there. So it's amazing to see what she did in her career. Number two, I'm going with China because I don't think we have women's wrestling as we do today without China.
Not at
Uh,
all.
she was so special. Was she the best in ring worker? Absolutely not. But she had an aura, a presence about her that was unlike anything I've ever seen. Number one is kind of a 1A, 1B. I'm cheating a little bit, Joe. I'm sorry. I'm going to say Mildred Burke and Mae Young. Now, this is going
Hey
way
yo,
back.
come on, mate.
This is way back before any of us were born. Most of us watching were born. Mildred Burke was a pioneer. They got a movie coming out about her in March called Queen of the Ring. We need to go check it out. Joe, for Candid, let's do it.
All right.
Um, but Mildred Burke was the pioneer for women's wrestling, and Mae Young was kind of her bodyguard back in the day. Nobody messed with Mae. The men didn't mess with Mae. Hearing Jim Ross talk about it, Mae Young was a 110-pound woman that could make a 300-pound man cry.
Yep.
She was tough, legitimately tough. And Mildred Burke took all the hate from the locker room, all the hate from the fans to show that women can do everything the men do, and sometimes better.
Hmm.
She put on a great show. She was a great performer, and she's an unsung hero of women's wrestling. But studying through her career, she's a pioneer. She's definitely on the top of my Mount Rushmore. So, with all that out of the way, we
Yeah.
got to give kudos to the women's wrestling. But while we're here,
Rhea
we're
Ripley,
talking.
Bianca Belair,
Yes,
special shout
Bianca
out. Sasha
Belair
Banks.
especially.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks, met her at Universal Studios. One of the sweetest people I've ever met in pro wrestling, by the way. So yeah, like women's wrestling now is way better than it was in the '90s. I am, as a dad of a little girl, am proud to let my daughter watch wrestling now
Yeah.
because of the women Joe and I mentioned. We can do that now.